Hello and welcome to the Salty Doodle Show. I'm your host, Chris. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. On this episode, we're going to be doing a detailed, thorough walk around of the 2024 Palm Breeze 25 HPT Tritoon. I have done some previous videos where I just kind of give you a quick hitting overall view of the Palm Breeze Tritoon as well as an in-depth look at the trailer. So without further ado, let's make it happen, Captain. Okay, here we're going to start in the bow, and we're just going to do strictly the Tritoon itself. And then at the end of this episode, I'll give you my honest opinion if it was worth buying the Palm Breeze. So let's go underneath the deck here. We're going to start there. Underneath here, you're going to see I do have the blue LED deck lights. This does go around the perimeter of the vessel. Up underneath the deck here, you're going to find that they do use stainless steel hardware, which is a plus, of course. However, they do not use any kind of lock nuts. They use the nylon nut that's all in one. It seems like it'll work on paper. However, I've been down here tightening probably every couple months. Now, I use this Tritoon fairly hard, so I do have to come under here and make it a point that I tighten up the nuts. You're going to find that it is enclosed underbelly. They didn't take it up to the bow, but 3/4 of the way and all the way back to the stern is what they did. The problem that they did have is that they used pop rivets into the actual joist. Living in the Tampa Bay, it does get kind of rough. So some waves got up underneath there and pulled those pop rivets out. And then I had to replace those pop rivets. I used galvanized number 10 self-tapping hex head screws, and I shot a lot of them in there. And that seemed to correct the problem. It is a all composite deck, so I don't believe there's any wood in this thing. I haven't found any yet. So it has the all aluminum framing underneath. Seems to be holding up pretty well. It seems like they do have a very good system of welding on the tunes itself. It is a very nice weld all the way around there. The Tritoons itself, they're a 26-inch diameter, which is oversized. A lot of the budget-friendly type of Tritoon pontoons typically sit on like a 23-inch. This is 26 again. That gives you that bigger diameter, making it a little more stable. And these are chambered, which is an upgrade on many manufacturers. That was a standard on Palm Breeze. So it is chambered, meaning, so let's just say that, just for argument's sake, that this is chambered up to this point. So there's a piece of probably aluminum inside there, like a baffle almost. If this were to become compromised and starts leaking, it would only fill up to this section here. So it wouldn't fill the whole tune up, which is obviously a good safety feature. My opinion, it probably, if you lost one of your tunes, you have the other two, you could probably limp back, is my guess. I did see a boat fail video where somebody had that happen. They actually didn't hit anything. They just, one of the welds was leaking and filled up their whole tune, but it was a Tritoon, and they were able to limp it back, and that thing was completely full. So it does have drains on each tune, and I'll show you that when we get back to that point. It does have the lifting strakes on it, which again is another upgrade, but it came standard with the Palm Breeze. And a lot of times it is an upgrade and they just stick it on the port and starboard side tunes. Sometimes they just stick it on the outsides of the tunes and not inside, but Palm Breeze did a good job with this. So they stuck on every single one, the middle one as well, both sides. Big fan of it. Lifting strakes, they just kind of help you get up on plane. I have driven a pontoon without them. It just seems like they're kind of, the bowels up in the air quite longer than it is on this thing. So they do seem to help. And then it has these fins is what I call them. I don't know the proper name. If you know, drop a comment. But it does have these on here. I think that just kind of diverts some of the splashing. You don't want to get wet. So there in the front has the dock lights. Again, these are LED. I've not used them, but they are pretty bright. So they're white. And you got the cleat there. You got the starboard side light there for at night. You have a decent sized deck here in the front. It's not, I mean, it's not the biggest in the world. It's nice for anchoring, so I appreciate that. Then you have the cleat there and some more deck lights, but dock lights, I guess they're called. I got the front hooks here. In my other video, I kind of explained why I have this strap here in the front. That's really all I use those for. And then the same over here, you got the port side light. You have a port side entry point on this side. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but there's another deck light about midship there. And then there you can see these massive 26-inch tunes. And then you have this mounting plate here. They welded fast. So you can put some, I guess, a speedometer back there if you want another transducer, some accessories to mount up there. Up underneath here, you got the drain plug. With that, you can't use the drain plug because it has like a stopper on it, so it just unscrews and pulls out, but it won't. You can't like misplace it, which is good. On my particular vessel, it came with an upgraded Suzuki 250 SS outboard. This is my first Suzuki, and it has a great hole shot. It doesn't have a lot of top end. It does top out quite quickly, but it does have a great hole shot for like any kind of water sports. But you do reach for the throttle, wishing it had a little more sometimes. But it is a nice motor. I do like it. I believe they come standard with a 150 Suzuki. This was an upgrade, and this will take up to a 300. It comes with a 45-gallon fuel tank. That just kind of goes up there. That's your access point. I did have a little squirrel problem here, and it only happened once. They did chew off my I believe that's the RPM sender there. They did chew that in half, and they chewed a little bit of the gas tank. So now I'm using, and I'll show you in another video, the squirrel repellent that I use. I bought off Amazon. So I'll address that in another video. This 250 Suzuki does have a engine flush here in the rear, which is the one I use because it's on the trailer. And then it also has one here in the front, which you would use if you were docked. If you're, you have your Tritoon docked on the water somewhere, you would use that front port. And I use Salt Away. Don't know if it works. If you know more about it, drop a comment. I don't know for sure. So on the stern here, we're looking at the ski tow bar that came standard with it, as well as the drop down telescopic ladder. Both were standard. Again, it's you can kind of look up underneath here. You can see the enclosed underbelly. This goes all the way up to the front. But I was advised by the dealership to periodically check the welds. If anything is questionable, to bring it back, and they do a pressure check on it and make sure everything is pressurized right. And that's kind of a look at it from the stern. It is the 6 series, which I believe is the highest series that Palm Breeze makes right now. And by the way, Palm Breeze used to be Lexington. I don't think they make this layout right now. It's more of a fishing layout in this size boat. This is a 25-footer. And I think new, from what I can gather, it's right around 75, 80 grand. This is my first Tritoon pontoon. I've always been a fishing boat, speedboat, bass boat person. Those are the boats that I've had. Now we got the double wide of the seas here. If you think you're going to store it at a dock when you purchase one, just check before you actually purchase it. Let's jump up and on the deck here, and we'll show you that. Okay, we're up on the deck itself, giving you a point of view from the bow. It's a nice layout. Up here on the forward section, you have the lockable storage here. Keep a stern anchor in that. And then another one here on the port side. And got the bow anchor in that one. Got this nice little door with the Palm Breeze emblem on it. Nicely done. So forward access, you lift up on the door. And then you drop it down in your pocket to put it back. And you got the slide latch here. Which, by the way, I had to drill out and move the slide latch over a little bit. It was flying open when I was trailering and when I was under power. So that I had to fix. Got some storage here. You got the cushion hoop here to pull that up, lift it up. Decent sized storage. And then here you got just miscellaneous stuff in there, throwable. And then you have that backrest, so 2 cup holders. So that is a big deal. My family uses that backrest, and they kind of fight over it a little bit. My daughters do. You got the adapter here in the deck for the cocktail table. It does come with 2 and 2 poles. I'll show you where the second location is here in a bit. You got the illuminated speaker there. I believe it's blue, and the deck light. And then this side, this mirrors the other side, minus the backrest. So decent sized storage again. And this pontoon was originally in Georgia at a lake, just freshwater lake, and now it's living in Salt Life. So I don't think it was covered, and it fades a little bit. So guys, just keep them covered if you can. It really does play a toll on the boat, RV, whatever. I mean, it just takes a toll on it. It does have decent stitching in it, and we use vinyl cleaner on this every single time, so that is treated. So it was a little worse, but it does seem to be helping. So Florida sun really is pretty bad. I installed a flagpole here. That's just off Amazon. It was maybe 20 bucks. I installed a second fire extinguisher here. Just having one forward and aft. Moving around, you got the nice captain's chair here, and here you can see the fading going on, sun fading. But again, we're treating them the best we can. Let's have nice arm rest, and they do move forward and back. The seat does, so that's nice. Not necessarily on the passenger, but the driver's side. I do move that forward and aft. You got the 2 cup holders there, the speaker again, and another deck light, and there's your port side entry. Got the helm here. Underneath the helm, you have a cooler that comes with it, and then you have anchoring points for the cooler. We don't put a cooler in there. That's where kind of our stuff we put in there to keep dry and keep it from moving around. So you do another speaker and another deck light. So moving to the helm, you do have that 5-inch Garmin GPS depth finder. Doesn't give any kind of speed. Gives you temperature, voltage, and it does give you the tracks of where you've been, which is nice, especially being in the Tampa Bay. I kind of just follow the track sometimes, and this makes it a little easier for me to navigate. It does have the tachometer there. It does have hour meter on it as well. When I bought this, it had 10 hours on it. Now I'm pushing 30. So you're going to come up on a service, and I'll walk you through that process. We'll do the service. It does have the fuel gauge, luckily, and the voltmeter. One thing I do wish, and this is old school, trim gauge. I know a lot of vessels had a trim gauge back in the day, seemed to kind of fall off. And I only say this because if you're sitting here at the port and you look back, you can't see your engine at all. So even with the top up, you can't see it unless you open that stern door. So it would be nice to kind of know where the engine is. And you're kind of far away from the engine, and it's very quiet. So you can't hear when it's trimmed all the way down. It makes that high-pitched squeal, and you just can't hear it. At least I can't. And maybe my hearing is failing. It does have the wire back there. It does have the trim sensor in the back, the sender. It's already installed. I do have the bullet point mounting bracket here. I am not sponsored at all by Bullet Point, but I do love their products. It is American made metal, which is very good metal, and this thing is a beast. My phone does not move one bit in that thing. This was probably about $60, and I'll drop the link. So they did an awesome job with it, and I speak very highly of it, and it's a great product. So moving on, I did install the permanent CB radio, again in the Tampa Bay. I do have it tuned to the Coast Guard, and they are on it quite a bit, and you hear them doing a lot of rescues, so hats off to the Coast Guard. So I just chose to put the permanent one in, and I feel that it's a necessity here in the bay. Hydraulic steering, you do have all your gauges here, and this is the point I'll make. These gauges will not last the life of the boat. They're already starting to stick. Again, I don't know if it's because of the environment I live in or what. The stereo button is really taking a hit here. A lot of times it gets stuck. Sometimes it's on, but I do have the on-off switch selector for the battery, so it at least turns everything off. But I did turn it on one time and it was still on, so it's hard to see. They do illuminate like a blue, but they're hard to see in the daylight for sure. I got the stereo here. I think it's pretty standard. Bluetooth capable. FM radio, I don't think it's AM at all. I don't know if anything is anymore, but that's what it came with. It sounds decent. I believe I have 4 speakers in this thing total, and then a subwoofer, which is right there. It does seem to work pretty well. It does kind of make a weird sound. I'm not sure what that's called, but it does make a weird sound if you get it too loud. And then I put the antenna on here that does flip up. I just have it in the trailering mode right now. That does flip up. You want it to be on the highest point of the boat, typically, and that's my helm, so that's where it is. The kill switch lanyard, it did come with the kill switch, but it did not come with any kind of means of strapping it to you. That's what it came with. Like, I'm not sure what you would do with that. Hook it into a belt loop, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what you would do with that. I think this is like $6 on Amazon, a wrist strap. That's what I use, and I keep it right there so it reminds me to put it on. Again, with the seats, and they came all the way out here with the helm. Kind of, it does get dirty in there, so I power wash it. I added another fire extinguisher there. Got the dual cup holders here, and then this huge chase lounge here that just kind of flips back and forth, forward and aft, depending on which way you want to sit. My wife loves this one. And then the chase lounge over here, and this has a lot of storage in here. Like, I got life jackets in there. This is like tools and what have you in there. And then over here I got the battery. This is where the battery would come installed, starting battery. And then I added the 37 group deep cycle battery there. That's from West Marine. This sucker was right around $300, I believe. And then I added a 3-bank battery charger. I have the on-off disconnect switch that also goes to both. And then I have the ACR relay in there that when the engine's running, it just kind of knows which battery to charge, and that's what battery it will stay with. And then as that one comes up on charge voltage, it will go to the second battery. So I think that's also out of West Marine, maybe around $180 for that whole setup. I installed circuit breakers. Not sure if you can see them down in there, but I installed circuit breakers as well. I wish I had a video about that. It did take me a little while. Believe it or not, there's another battery up underneath there, and that was fun getting to. I hope I never have to pull them out because not fun. So I got the 3-bank battery charger, as I said. You're probably asking why you only have 2 batteries. I may add a 3rd battery at some point. I don't think I'll ever put a trolling motor on here. I will put a power pole on this stern here eventually, probably in that location right there. Back into the vessel here, put that seat forward, and then I got a large area here that goes up underneath the seats for storage. Goes way up underneath that cushion as well. Drop the porta potty in here. It seems to work pretty well. Boat hooks in there and there's various items, safety equipment. Decent sized storage there, and you also have another speaker and a deck light there. Some more cup holders. Doesn't have a lot of cup holders, so that's good. Again, it has electric top. Does work well. I installed just straps I got off Amazon. I put these stainless steel hooks in there, and there's one up there by the cord. And I just use straps to strap it down. I was told by the manufacturer not to wide open the boat with the top up, as support beams will snap off. And they made it very clear that that will happen, and they will not reimburse you for any of those repairs. So that's something to keep in mind. So I don't go really more than 10 miles an hour with it. This boat will do 40 miles an hour on a good day. A lot of water to push. So for that 250, that's about what she'll do on a good day. And then the power band on this for fuel conserving purposes is right around 4,000 RPMs. It goes well up over 5 for wide open, but that's right around 25 miles an hour, which in the Manitou River, there's a lot of spots you can't go over 25 miles an hour because of it's restricted. So that's what we got here so far. And then the upgrades that I have done, not a lot, but some. And then also back here you have the other adapter here for the table, which I don't think I've used yet. So that chair would spin around. I don't know. This seems a little wasted space here. I feel like they could have done something right here. Some kind of like cabinet, maybe even a porta potty. So here we are. We're going to go over to the swim deck here, a decent sized swim deck. Ski tow bar, which is nice. I have not done any kind of water sports on this thing yet, but I don't know if I will. But in any case, I have used it to tow a vessel back into the dock on my first outing, maiden voyage with it, which was fun. That's the swim deck, decent size. It has the cleats in the back there. So here's a viewpoint from the stern. But the all composite deck. So I guess the question becomes, would I buy this vessel again? Yes, I would buy this vessel again. Again, 2 years old when I bought it. It's about 75, 80,000 brand new. And then you have the upgraded motor, which you're probably pushing 100 grand, honestly. You got a pretty good deal on it in the middle of winter. I feel that it is made pretty sturdy, minus those lock nuts, which, you know, as I tighten these up, I'll probably just start adding my own lock nuts. It's not the end of the world. But other than that, I feel it's a decent brand. That's my honest opinion. So if you made it to the end of this video and you like it, please click that like and subscribe button. Appreciate it. I appreciate you sticking around to the end here, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.